first of all, let me start off by giving credit to the MVP, Tom Ellsworth here. Tom was the one coordinating with Jason. They had the conversation. From there, it led to us doing the podcast here. For 5 days, Secret Service was here every single day. By the way, to tell you how intentional they were, in the back, in the control room, I don't know how many thousands of buttons we have. Secret Service came in and says, we can't do this unless we press every single button.
Jeez.
So our switchers, our guys are like, oh my God, we have to So like, boom, 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 boom. If it was intentional that they had to do it, great. But by the way, if it was like one of these things that you do and you go talk shit in the car, we convinced these guys that we have to press the button.
Every button.
They created a tent. They created I mean, we had to keep it away from all the employees. Employees had no idea what was going on. Vinny was saying, so why is there a tent parked outside? And like, look, I think there's termites in the building.
They're spraying. I go,
they're spraying.
Why outside?
Yeah, they're going to cover the whole place and do a termite thing.
Rob, if you want to play the clip when he's coming in, this is what it looked like when it took place. Go ahead, Rob. So this is in the back of the building.
They covered, you know what? They cover it so nobody can see who's coming over.
We need
the airspace is shut down.
We need that president music.
The entire Oakland Park City was shut down. They were wondering what is going on.
And then look at that tie. That's the biggest tie in the world.
Hanging low.
Thank you, sir.
Good looking group, that's us.
Welcome.
By the way, you guys looked a little nervous when he walked in.
You're going to win. You're going to win.
Rob, can you put a clip?
We win.
If it's not rigged, we win, and it's
Rob,
a fact.
put a clip of the outside. What it looked like with helicopters. The ones that is this the one, Rob, that you edited?
Yes.
Go ahead and play this. Look at this. Snipers upstairs, right?
Whole road shut down.
My wife, they wouldn't. And they're like, Mrs. David, we know who you are, but you have to park across the street because the interview just started. You have to wait. Fire trucks.
Convoy, choppers. Bro, and I'm...
Yeah, it was.
But Pat, aren't you happy, though, that it's at, I don't know what it was a couple months ago, but right now it was absolutely Homeland Security, a sheriff, everybody. Brother, everybody that you looked at was looking right at you, and I was like, damn, am I going to do something? Like, I was nervous for myself. It was crazy.
Yeah, and by the way, in here, while we're doing the interview, right, there's 9 people sitting in front of me.
Yep.
Outside of Rob and Kelly. Rob, I think only you and Kelly were in the room, right?
Yes, correct.
9 other people are sitting in front. And there was a couple moments where the interview had to be stopped for different reasons that we had the conversation. But it's 9 people while we're doing the interview. The 90 minutes ends, boom. He leaves, takes pictures. Tico meets him. He's like, oh, my God, I can't believe. Dylan's like, that's not. Senna's like, that's not Trump. That's an actor. Jennifer's like, no, honey, that is him. Yeah. No, that's not. It's an actor. It's not real. There's a bunch of them nowadays.
Yeah.
Anyways, it was great. The interview, a lot of different topics we covered. There was a lot of reactions to it. Having said that, it was a blast. A lot of other things are coming in the future that I cannot announce to you guys. A lot of big things in the future. Stay tuned. We'll announce to you in a surprise way every single time. Adam, you look like you want to say something.
No, I just want to ask you because it was an awesome experience. And I'm just excited for the team. I'm excited for the brand because I think everyone wanted this interview to happen. What was the biggest takeaway you had? You're like, oh, I didn't even know that about Trump.
Wait, was that his first time with Trump?
First time interviewing Trump.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. First time he was here.
Excuse me, jail.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
No, I know.
First time.
I know.
Okay. First time, long time.
I watched the whole
But
thing.
you know,
Adam's talking here.
You've spent some.
Adam's talking.
No, you've spent time with him. Obviously, UFC, Dana White. But this was your first time you sat down with the guy, and obviously, everyone wanted this interview. What was your biggest takeaway?
I will tell you this: how tense he was a year ago. Not at all. Right now, if you watch him, how he's doing while he's campaigning, for whatever reason, he's very calm. And he's in a very, happy state, which is good. You're only in that state if you're pretty optimistic about what the future looks like.
Yep.
There wasn't that feeling of him double attacking and almost crossing, like, how sometimes he would push a little too hard a year and a half ago?
Yeah.
None of that feeling. It was very poised, very calm, great conversations. But
how do you interpret that, Patrick? How do you interpret that?
I think that's optimism.
Yeah.
I think that's.
But based on internal polling and things along these lines?
Well, if you look at the polling, Tom, if you want to give us an update on the polling with what's going on, because the polling right now, what it's showing, here's what you'll see. Go to the polling. We got Rob right there. If you can't go to VT News, there you go. So here's what it's looking like with battlegrounds. It's even Steven right now, but this is national. even Steven. If you go to Arizona, one by one, go to Arizona, Rob, if you could. Pretty much everybody except Wall Street Journal has Trump up.
Okay.
This is 14 days out, right? CBS, New York Times. New York Times hates Trump,
I'd
right?
love to see Georgia there.
Oh yeah.
So go to Georgia.
And he's up by 2 or
Look
more.
at Georgia. Everybody.
That's a surprise to me, guys. That's actually a surprise to me with this early,
By everybody.
early voting.
Early voting, right?
Quinnipiac,
That they've
Atlas
been through?
Intel. Everybody, let's go look at Michigan. Go to Michigan. Michigan, you got Rasmussen's tie, Emerson's tie. Wall Street's giving it to Harris. Okay.
And Gretchen said, by the way, the sitting governor says that you're not safe in Michigan. She said this 2 months ago, and they silenced her. She said, I'm just giving you a heads up. You are not safe. She told Kamala that.
Oh man.
So, okay, so that's starting to play out.
So she said it to Kamala, not
Yes.
to Trump.
Yeah.
You're not safe in
Yes.
this state.
Yes.
Meaning what?
Meaning, Kamala, you could lose.
You don't
Like,
have
this is
to-
not a
all right.
slam
Yeah,
dunk.
or
You
she
better
could
come and
lose.
campaign.
Oh
Yes.
hell
Yeah.
yeah! Don't
Yes.
think it's a show. Oh, I got you.
How
and
about
then,
Nevada?
and then lost the unions, or the draw there. But big deal, big deal.
Nevada, what's it looking like, Rob? Okay, so
Wow.
Emerson and
Close to 2.
who's got Rasmussen's got him 2+. Wall Street's got him up 6. So when Michigan's got Wall Street, Michigan's got Wall Street's got Michigan down, Harris up 2, and Nevada they got who up 6? Wow, interesting.
Yeah, the world is actually, the whole polling universe is trying to figure out the Wall Street Journal polls from last weekend. Everybody is looking at it saying, what, did you just rush this out? What are you doing? Because they're all kind of outliers comparing to
Everybody
not one,
else.
not two, but
Yeah.
a dozen of other polls, including ABC.
What's Carolina looking like? Atlas Intel has them.
Wow.
Tight.
Very
Winnipeg's
tight.
got them. Rasmussen's +5. Emerson's +0.6. Wall Street Journal tied. Go to Pennsylvania, which is going to matter. Okay, there you go. Intel 3. New York Times got her.
Yeah,
+3.
Pennsylvania and Arizona are looking increasingly solid. North Carolina, there's a big question because there's 50,000 mail-in and absentee votes that came out of the hurricane area. Did they get through the mail? Did they get in? And what are those people going to do that actually didn't absentee or mail in? How are they going to get to in-person polling that day? It's still devastation out there in Western North Carolina, and that 50,000 votes could turn it.
Well, today
What's
marks
Wisconsin? Look at Wisconsin and then give your thoughts, Adam. Sure. Atlas Intel +1.
He's winning
There
almost
is-
every one.
Yeah,
He's
go
winning
ahead, Adam.
every one.
That surprises me.
the election is officially 2 weeks away. We are like in the 9th inning of this election season. So everyone knows that the general election is not necessarily the popular vote. Kamala needs to be up +3, like a field goal, in order to win the electoral college. So all these states are going to come down this sort of the Magnificent Seven, if you want to use a stock market analogy. But if you want to just kind of expand, since September, when Kamala had that sugar high, July, Biden steps down, Kamala steps in, there's all this hoopla. Oh my God, Kamala, here we go. We're going to have the first
And the
female
convention, the
president.
DNC.
The DNC.
Joy,
And all-
joy.
Yeah, exactly.
Joy.
Campaign of joy. And then, as I've said before, the more she talks, the less appealing she becomes. The more she starts doing interviews, people are like, I don't want this. Meanwhile, Trump is rising. And if you want to see Trump at his finest, people say Trump is hilarious. Trump is funny. I'm like, I don't know, kind of like a Don Rickles type of funny. Did you see this guy at the Al Smith dinner?
Oh.
This past weekend? It was, I think
What's
it
your
was the night
favorite?
after.
By the way, what's your favorite? I want to see what
I'll
because
tell
I
you
want
my
to tell you what
favorite.
mine is. Go ahead.
Well, the way he treated Chuck Schumer.
Did you watch? Did you?
And he goes,
of course,
he
of
says,
course.
the thing he said to Tampon Tim.
Oh.
He goes, I don't think that men can be women, but then I met Tim Walz or whatever that was.
Oh,
And
He
he
was-
was period.
But by the way, and then did you hear that? Like, not only did he crush it, she didn't show up. And this moment where it's
Have we
you're
played this
so
yet,
into-
Brad?
No, we have
Just
not.
play that-
Adam,
play
what
the
was your
top
favorite?
five.
I want to
Right
hear
here.
your favorite.
when he
Adam.
just dunked
Tom, what
on
was
Tim
your favorite?
Walz.
What was your favorite, Tom?
My favorite actually was more subtle and it wasn't dirty. And he says, although Tim Walsh will say he was here.
But he was. Yeah, he will say he was
I
here.
oh, that's great.
Really
I
good.
thought that was so cool.
I
and
have
it
a
wasn't
different
dirty.
one. I have a different one. Go ahead, Rob. Play it.
I used to think the Democrats were crazy for saying that men have periods, but then I met Tim Walz. Well, I'd better wrap up because Mayor Adams told me
This is
earlier that
amazing.
I needed to make this one very quick, especially the city has reserved this room for a large group of illegal aliens coming in from Texas. There's a group called White Dudes for Harris. Have you seen
This is
this?
awesome.
White Dudes for Harris. Anybody know? Are some of you here? White Dudes for Harris? Doesn't sound like it. But I'm not worried about them at all because their wives and their wives' lovers are all voting for me.
Look at Chuck Schumer. Look at Chuck Schumer, the penguin. Look at that guy.
He
says he looks glum.
Child care, and Kamala has put forward a concept of a plan. A lot of people don't like it. The only piece of advice I would have for her in the event that she wins would be not to let her husband, Doug, anywhere near the nannies. Keep him away.
Yes.
That's a nest.
Yeah, good.
Chuck Schumer is here
Looking
looking
glum.
very glum.
I like how he touches him. It's amazing.
Doesn't he look cute? I'm
buddy.
Yeah,
really
you little
glum.
freaking jerk. Jerk. Look at him.
Alpha
But look
move
on
right
the
there.
bright side, Chuck,
Demon,
considering
little
how
demon.
woke
This is
your
great.
party has become, if Kamala loses, you still have a chance to become the first woman president.
It's just legit hilarious.
Wow.
Legit hilarious.
Like
He
just
said to Eric Adams, he says, look, I hear he's a vegan, but I'm not sure why he likes turkey so much.
yeah, oh my, he's
Yeah, what does that mean? Explain that joke to
Because
me.
all the drama that's going on with
So
Eric Adams and
he
Turkey.
accelerated Turkey getting a permit to build a building apparently
Oh,
for
the
like $10
country.
billion.
Oh, for God's
Yeah,
sakes.
yeah.
Of
Yeah, he
course, of
says,
course. I'm thinking that.
I'm not sure
My
why he
wife
likes
made a
turkey
turkey
so
2
much.
nights ago. All right, I get it. I get the joke. All right.
Where do you think this whole thing's at, Jill? Where are you at with this?
Wednesday, as in 2 Wednesdays ago, I believe that is 11 days. That's impossible to know for sure, but it feels like about 11 days. I felt like things swinged, Patrick. I just felt for the first time, and I have not been the sugar high that you referenced, and I felt that around the whole country. I've been stunned with the interviews, the lack of interviews, but she very clearly did change her style. The Brett Baer was part of that. She's coming out a little bit more. Still maybe not with the right media, but she has changed style. So she's got internal polling, he's got internal polling, and it looks like they're both saying the same thing, which things are pretty good for Trump right now. And I you know what? I'm influenced by Barack Obama on this. But Obama came in and told the guys, look, we don't have the same energy as we've seen in the past. And I believe that. I don't think that her voters will walk through fire, a hurricane, Tom, if needed. His will.
Oh, yeah.
And they're going to show up. And that is your difference maker. Every election cycle, it's who shows up. I think he's in a very good spot right now, guys. And I'm a pessimist, by the way. That never serves me well to be positive, but I am right now.
I agree
I
with
want to
that.
show you this. I want to show you this, Tom. The only thing is, if you pull up this tweet, here's what I put. And, you know, the idea of staying paranoid, if you can zoom in, I said,
so happy you're putting
I
this
said,
up.
warning, nothing will be off the table the next 17 days to try to manipulate you. Deep fakes, potential cyber attack, power going down, new creative crisis, possible black swan event, fake stories, losing phone service, shortage of gas. They'll create any kind of fear to prevent you from going to vote. This is the time to be strong, have courage to recruit others to go vote with you. Don't go alone, go with a PAC. Invite those who especially don't think their vote matters. You're a leader. Whether you rally one additional person to go with you or 20, future looks bright for those who choose to lead.
Yep.
I think that's the one part where we got to stay paranoid and you got to play offense until, you know, what's the famous saying? Nothing's over until who sings?
The fat. Well,
fat
we can't
lady.
even.
No,
can we
we
even say
can't-
that nowadays?
No,
the
we can't say
Ozempic
fat
girl
lady.
that kind of changed.
Well, Lizzo
What
was
is a
singing.
woman,
Yeah.
though?
Lizzo
What is
was
a
singing
woman?
in Detroit.
Yeah, and Pat, I'm so happy that that you put that up because you nailed it, Chill. That momentum, because I was kind of like, wait, oh my God, that whole high of the Kamala and the mainstream media,
Sure.
it's completely shifting. He is out there. People are loving him. They're interviewing people that I've seen multiple ones where people are like, I hated him, but I'm seeing that they lied about the good people on both sides. They lied about this. They lied about that. They're waking up. That, Pat, is the scariest thing, is because in 2016 it was Russia collusion with Hillary. In 2020 it was COVID. Keep him in the basement. He's gonna win. What are they gonna do this time? And you have to be paranoid because only the paranoid survive. They're going to do something, guys. They're the Democratic Party. That little Chuck Schumer is sitting there with that little beady little eye. Those are the guys that are plotting and they're waiting for
Let me
something
ask
to
you a
happen.
question.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Tom, Chael, both of you guys, just curious. Do you think something crazy will happen? Not could happen, big difference. Do you think something crazy will happen the next 2 weeks? And if yes, what's your percentage to say XYZ percentage something will happen? What do you think?
I'm at 100, and I think it will be bad. I mean, and as dirty as a accusation of sexual assault outside the China Club in 1988, and the woman has finally come forward. Like, it's going to be bad, and it's sitting there. I'm a little surprised it hasn't come. Nobody tried to connect either one to P. Diddy, which I just thought they would both do. They both played that game with Epstein. So, yes, man, something's right for the taking. Could I disclose something real fast, Tom? I'm a very cool guy. I know I'm not dressed appropriately, and I know I'm playing on my phone. This is actually literally the airport who has lost my luggage, which is the reason I don't have any gear. So I have to send that text message. I just wanted you to know.
But that shirt is, I mean, but that shirt does fit
You
you.
do look fly,
You look
by the
freaking
way.
ridiculous.
You
Yeah,
look
that
fly.
shirt is awesome.
Go ahead, Tom.
So,
He just said 100%.
yeah, well, I break it into two things: social unrest or something out there like a pandemic and things like that. I'm only about 20%. There's no hurricanes on map. There's things like this. Will there be an isolated event like in Detroit or something? Yeah, possibly. So I'm like 20% on something like that happen. But are there going to be a lot of voting shenanigans? I'm 50-50 and rising on like shenanigans. Oh, the poll closed. This wasn't there. Things like that. I'm 50-50
Day
on
of.
that.
Well,
Day of, though.
But she's changed, the Democrat Party, part of their platform is you can transition. Well, I have noticed that Kamala has transitioned. She's transitioned into a man. You listen to her policies, but the man is Donald Trump, right? Yeah. She's completely transitioned before our eyes. We have a cackling female, whatever race she decides on whatever day of the week it is. And you've got desperation on her side, a lot of desperation. And I see the polls moving. I think things moving, but there's work to be done. If you have elderly people, grandparents, aunt, uncle, and they didn't do absentee, they didn't do mail-in, get up early, get them in the car, get them to vote. Turnout is the weapon right now. That has to happen.
The super VIP one sold out. I think the one for lunch is sold out. There's a few of the VIP ones left, and everything else is moving. Here's the update. Who's going to be attending? You need to know. I already said to you, Michael Francis, Samuel Gravano, Brian Callen, Dave Smith. Here's some new ones. Little Pump reached out.
Yeah.
He's attending. You got Candace Owens is attending. You got, who else? Oh, you got, who did I miss? I just said another. Oh, Jorge Masvidal will be there with us. Jorge's going to be there, which is going to be exciting. And a bunch of other people will be there. So if you haven't yet picked up your ticket before this thing sells out, all the tiers, Rob, play this clip and then we'll get right into the podcast. Go ahead. I got a big announcement to make. Property I'm on right now. We've been working on buying this property for the last 3 years. It's one of its last kind in America. Why? It's on 11 acres. It's got 2 hangars. It's on an airport. Upgrades of $7 million made here. That's going to be the new headquarters of Valuetainment Media, David Consulting, the podcast, the whole nine. And what we wanted to do, we want to find a way to celebrate this as a new headquarters with inviting you to an event on November 5th, which is election night. A lot of different things people will be talking about, business owners. What's going to happen if it goes this way? What's going to happen if it goes that way? So imagine 2,000 people being here. Let me show you around. Some of you will have a private meeting with me. That's the elite. That's going to be a few of you. Some will get a private tour of the entire office from us. There's a hangar in the back. So you come up here. Imagine there's going to be a couple major tents, 40 feet by 100 feet, where some of the people that are buying general tickets will be there. But over here inside the hangar is where the podcast will be held. This entire thing will be open like it is right now. Inside of it, myself, the PBD podcast crew, some of the super VIPs will be invited to go upstairs in a section that we have that's got a bar, a restaurant, food, kitchen. You're eating, you're watching it from all the way up there while we're doing the podcast down here in the hangar. So imagine in this room, there's 1,000 people, right? While we're going through this whole thing. Conversation, it's going to be from 6 p.m. is when it starts. All the way up to 2 o'clock in the morning. Who knows? Maybe we'll go 3, 4 o'clock in the morning because a lot of things that's going to be going on. And by the way, do you know why we're not cutting this? We're on an airport. These are planes. We have to hear because right here is the airport. And FYI, messy place right there at that stadium right behind us. There's 5 ticket tiers that you can purchase. Each one's got more things to offer. But even locally, there's general tickets to buy for just $75. Bring your wife, bring your husband, bring your family, bring your friends. There's one caveat after you buy the ticket. When you buy the ticket and you come on November 5th, you have to wear Future Looks Bright gear. I'm talking Future Looks Bright hat, a shirt. Doesn't matter. You're going to have to show I got some kind of Future Looks Bright gear because we want everybody here to spread the message and the energy of optimism around the world, back to their states, wherever you're going to be. So November 5th, click on the link above or below, get registered. And if you're watching this saying, well, Pat, I like to travel private. Can I bring my private jet here? 5 of you guys will be. After you buy your ticket, then you can ask us. And that's only available to the tickets at the highest level possible to bring your jet and park it here. So having said that, get your tickets, and I cannot wait to see you November 5th, 6 p.m. at our new headquarters in Fort Lauderdale. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye, bye-bye.
That was a great pitch, PBD.
Right?
I got to tell you. One take?
Yes,
that was
one
fire.
take. One take. We're going to have a good time. Get your tickets. Go to 5990live.com, Rob, if you can put the link or the QR code. We are looking. By the way, if that night goes the way I think it may go, that night we may have a hard time pushing people out of this place.
That's what I'm
like,
saying.
go home, buddy. Go home.
No, we want to stay.
It's going to be crazy, but we'll see what will take place.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.